Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to our CSGO news episode, and also a preface for all of you guys who watched yesterday's episode. Thank you all for the great feedback. We are slowly but surely working on a brand new layout here. I did make this a little bit smaller, and also keep in mind, guys, in about a week or two, we'll be changing the layout once more. We want a wider, more zoomed out, so we should be seeing a lot more things behind me. But for now, I hope you guys all enjoy. Deal with it because I gotta buy all this stuff. We gotta get everything organized, so on and so forth. But thank you all for watching. Welcome back to CSGO News. My name is Jake, and well, there's a lot of crazy stories out there today. The first of which are fake Steam accounts, which I should have told you guys about so long ago when I first found out about these things, and they've been around for quite some time, and to be honest, they always will be. And if you guys somehow don't know what I mean, it pretty much people out there who pretend to be pro players, pretend to be, you know, entertainers or content creators on Steam. They ask for donations. They pretty much scam you guys out of your money. Actually, thanks to Reddit, and also a post I was sent a long time ago I should have shared with all of you. The first of which is actually sick. He has now been impersonated on Steam. Along with that, KQLY is one of the most well-known impersonated people on Steam. One of the impersonators has over 6,000 comments. Another impersonator, who KQLY himself called out on Twitter a long time ago, has over 50,000 comments on a fake profile. Now, he actually does fake giveaways on that fake profile. The person who created that initial profile, along with that, apparently Six profile is asking directly for donations, and he's also actively going through and deleting comments that call him out for being an impersonator. So if you guys want to do me a quick favor, I know it's not much of a CSGO story. I will link all of these 3 fake profiles down below. If you have the time, please report them for impersonation, and hopefully we can try and do a little bit better about clearing some names up out there. Please, guys, do not trust anyone, and even if they were a pro player, keep your skins, okay? You deserve them, you earned them, and that's our first initial story. But also in a big story out there, I wanted to make a video almost dedicated to all the April Fool's jokes we did see, because let's be honest, guys, we saw way too many, okay? From KQLY to then I also mentioned Fur, but there's been countless, you know, Rogue changing their name to Roge. It almost was like, okay, when does it stop, right? And speaking of Fur, we actually thought initially he was trolling. Then as of this morning, April 2nd, mind you guys, these jokes do not get to carry over from April 1st to April 2nd. He kept on tweeting, and so for an initial period, for about an hour this morning, I did think he was actually leaving MiBR. He has now further confirmed, guys, it was a troll. It was an April Fool's troll, actually extended to the day after April Fool's, which should not be allowed. And if I was Fur, the funny thing is, I would actually be pretty worried, because a lot of people believe this, not only because of MiBR's results, most recently, of course, at Starletter as well. They have been struggling to some sort. Who knows what the overall issue is, but if anything does happen, if one of those players does get replaced, and obviously Fur would probably not be your first choice, although it would be a possibility by many people out there, these tweets will live in infamy if anything does happen soon to the MiBR roster. Although confirmed by Fur, it was a troll, guys, and nothing should be happening. But why I'm talking about this is because, ironically enough, as of yesterday as well, it's actually Furia, the other top Brazilian team out there, looking really dominant. In fact, you look at this Furia roster, what they have done with their major run, alongside that with this roster who no one really knew about before that major run, they have now gone undefeated throughout the main season of ESEA Season 30. They will now be in Season 31. If you guys do follow ESEA Mountain Dew League, this season, that being Season 30, was unfortunately not for a Pro League spot, but next season will be, so a likely heavy favorite will be Furia, because they did not lose a single game. 17-0 throughout group play. They only dropped 1 game the entire season that was in playoffs, and besides that, they ran the table. The only map they lost was to Team 1, another Brazilian team. I have not seen a dominant performance like this throughout ESEA ever since probably Swole Patrol last year, but before Swole Patrol and any of all teams of actually in ESEA, this is the single best main season, that being group play record, them going undefeated, the single best record we have seen ever since 2016, when the old Tempo Storm roster in ESEA Season 21 did the same exact thing. I actually believe they were 16-0. So to kind of put you a spotlight on this team, they are running the table on the lower end of the North American teams out there, but they're doing so in such a dominant fashion. They have now set a record for ESEA that we have not seen ever since the old Brazilian squad, who eventually became the Titans we know today. So, ironically enough, Furia is looking very good, MiBR is looking very shaky, and that's why I'm talking about this, guys, because the prospects out there are certainly 2 of which, Yuri and Serato, to possibly join that roster. And again, Serato was the guy who was actually rumored before they eventually chose the old roster with Phelps instead. So keep in mind, guys, MiBR changes to us publicly, they seem possible. This troll to me was just kind of funny, and that's why I brought it up. So, do you guys think changes are going to happen in the future? roster. I don't think anytime soon, obviously with them, you know, kind of joking about it. But if it does happen, these tweets will forever live on this channel. And also some very sad news out there. Speaking of some teams with some crazy stories throughout 2018, that being LDLC have now disbanded their remaining roster. Now, luckily enough, I say luckily because at least it's not a full roster. It will be Tuanu and Davo Duvek now without a team, as well as LDLC does go forward. If you guys were watching these people, it was actually XMS, Sixer, and Matend joining this team, which I think a lot of us agree we didn't really see too much potential for. They have now parted ways with those three guys, as I think they were kind of just trialing them out, seeing how they felt around the team, and the rest of the players have now been released. A new CSGO roster will apparently be coming sometime in 2019, also according to Nell, so a very, very trustworthy French source out there. Who they will sign, though, is the ultimate big question, because you look at a team like LDLC, and it really does almost make you feel pretty sad for what this team has lost. You know, 2018, for a short period of time, they were the single best French team, or arguably so. They were in the debate for it, which is something they often have not been in. And then if you guys remember as well, they had a Pro League spot pretty much tied down. They actually faced off against Virtus Pro in the deciding matches. Unfortunately enough, it was LDLC flying back, I want to say from IEM Chicago, on that same day to play Virtus Pro. And ironically enough, you know, classic Virtus Pro, they show up to play some pretty decent CS for once, and they take that spot away from LDLC. So they lose that Pro League spot. Unfortunately enough, they lose their #1 French spot as well. And then following shortly after, you lose Alex, and you also lose very shortly after him, Amanek as well. So you lose arguably two of your better players to now the better French teams, and it's not really a big surprise now to see that the fall of LDLC, now the reverting to the mean of this roster. It's very, very sad to see a team like this, and often enough in CSGO, we see this progression, right? A team rises, other two teams pick away, and the rising team then starts to fall. This is what LDLC is now doing. The rebuild is coming sometime soon, apparently. Who will they sign, though, in the French scene? Because my faith for that scene, just like NA, it's not really there. And very lastly, we have Cloud9. They've now confirmed their lineup, guys, with Cajun B. That's going to be Rush, Automatic, Golden, Cajun, and Vice on trial still. I don't even know what to say about it. I've talked about Cloud9 way too much. You guys know my thoughts about the roster. I've given you my thoughts way too much. I'm just curious what you guys think about this, because to me, although I have praised Cajun, I'm not blaming him whatsoever. I am very curious what this roster aims to do. This is now a variety of players who have not previously played together, plus a golden IGL who has not played even with that current roster of Russian Automatic for quite some time. So who knows what he's going to offer at the table. This is a roster I have no clue what to expect from, but to me it's kind of smelling of Optic-ish, you know, kind of era. And yeah, we'll see where they do. We'll see where they go. I just am really hoping, if they want some long-term commitments from these players, that they did so, because I feel like this roster will need to be long-term if they want to develop into anything near successful. But as always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of CSGO News. Thank you all for watching. If you are still watching, thank you all for the comments about the layout, so on and so forth. I am trying to fix it. We are trying to make upgrades as fast as possible. So stay tuned, guys. Things should only get better from here on out. As always, I hope you guys all enjoy. Have a great day. Have a great night. I'll see you all back here tomorrow with more CSGO News. Until then, goodbye.